Da Vinci 999 here, down at Tello's Beach in Byron Bay, one of the most powerful and spiritual beaches. And today we're going to talk about hydrogen and how that clarity that it brings is actually connecting, and the healing it brings allows your light of your spirit to be held inside your cells more, embodied in your body more. So a lot of people working through their spiritual practices, working through their shadow work, a lot of people understanding that we're not just a physical being, we don't exist just in the physical, we have these different dimensions to ourselves. Even Spider-Man has a multiverse now. So if everyone's a multiverse, then there's all these different points of awareness that are inside ourselves that we elevate in different ways our energy so that we can attain that. Now, if you look at the different cultures, every culture has different truths, and if you're looking at it from an Indian point of view, then they understand the chakra system, and you have your rainbow, your red, all the way through, your purple and your white at the top. And inside that, if you think about it like this, you can sit in each one of them and you can see out from there. So you can see from your base root energy. Now that might be your family, your tribe, your belongingness, how you feel about all that. And from then you can raise up into your orange, and that is your joy and your love and your emotions and how you feel about things. Then you can go to your yellow, and so you can go all the way through to your violet, which is your third eye, and you can sit in your crown chakra, which is your white at the top. And the white at the top really represents, once you've awakened all these different, this ladder, so to speak, then you really have sat with your spiritual highest point of view as a human on the experience. So therefore, really, we're going out to feel healthy and vitality and all this sort of stuff, and we really want to feel love and passion, and our why in our life is actually a part of the fabric of what makes us get up every day, and that's linked to our spirit. So at the end of the day, our physical body, our life is just an expression of our spiritual mission on the planet, and the awakening of that spiritual mission in this time now is 2025. So we've now hit the age of Aquarius has begun. The age of Pisces and suffering and self is finished, and the age of collaboration and community is really beginning. And in that, there's a new whole paradigm of existence where everyone you meet is a reflection of you. Again, back to the Indian belief systems and how they view things. And from that perspective, if everyone is another you, then everyone is reflecting another part of the universe to you, and another truth and another perspective and another pain and another pleasure and whatever that may be. And in doing that, they're there to share with something with you of this knowledge that will help your spirit connect to them, and somehow those two understandings, or the fusion of those two perspectives in an understanding, will help both of those souls evolve, and it allows the collective to rise. So this is the age of Aquarius. Everything's connected. For myself, I've been working with hydrogen a long time, and I talk a lot about that in the other videos. Go check it out. But this video was about, in my personal life, how the hydrogen helped me heal my body. And once I had my body healed, I had this clarity come over my mind. Once I had my mind healed, I eventually had enough energy to embrace my spiritual life. Now, before my crisis of health and I got sick, my younger life was running around and putting on dance parties and making hip hop and rapping and raising the vibration and bringing more love to the world. And that was my spiritual essence, and we attuned to that before. And then we went and became our parents, and then had to become our own self as a parent. So there's a process there. And that's linked to many, many things. But in what I was trying to say, that in anyone in crisis, there's a brain fog involved, and there's those steps. And the brain fog is just truly, in the essence of everything, a few steps away from your spiritual path. So you're looking at it from over here instead of sitting in your perspective over here and being able to see from the spirit, where your spirit sees from this white top crown chakra. And what that is that's a perspective that is beyond the human existence. So we talk in some other videos about how the Chinese masters take our auric field and our meridian grid and our energy field, and they help us understood that we are more than just that. The energy that flows through us, our spiritual energy runs through our body, but energetically it's beyond our physical body. And they've proven that with their martial arts and all the other ways that the Chinese medicine and acupuncture and meridians and all that stuff. So therefore, that's taking your understanding of self as a physical being and opening up to those other parts of yourself that are already there, they've always been there. You're just becoming aware of it and shifting that paradigm on the inside to a more expanded view, opening the channels, express the dis-ease or the dysfunction or the emotion that needs to move. It's been stagnant emotions. Everything starts to flow in the expression. And in the expression, there's a lot of healing. So in the cellular world, you want to clean the toxic free radicals, re-energize the cell, regenerate the cell back to health. And then in that process is also the hydration of the cell. Now, the more hydrated and healthy and energy the cell has, the more spiritual light it can actually hold in that cell, the higher the vibration it can actually hold in that cell. So when you're diseased and you have heavier energies and old emotions and childhood traumas and wounds and life's battle scars, you have all them and you haven't actually understood them becoming a power, a force in you because they're still a pain, then the healing process that you go through, whether you start physically, which you usually do, find the right physical cure and then regenerate the body. And as you regenerate the body, the fog is lifted and more light is held in the body and more of the spirit and soul can sit in the body and less trapped in the mental realm, disconnected from the physical body. So this video is a bit about that. We're going to head deeply into some stuff just for fun. But really, I want to get the essence of, as a being, reawakened on a level. And hydrogen gave me an energy and brought a clarity and fixed my body. And then it maintains that. So the maintenance is the important. You can get healthy and better, but if you don't have ability to regenerate the energy and hold a higher energy. So the idea is here, this is how much I get when I sleep. But at the end of the day, if you can amplify how much energy is in your body, then you're going to amplify the perspective and the height of thoughts that you can reach. And now we're reaching into the age of Aquarius and remembering that we're spiritual beings on this planet. We have a spiritual mission. We have a why, which is even you set up a business, you've got to have your why. Why am I doing this? Why do I love this? Turning passion into projects, into life. So in this process of my healing from 130 kilos and completely stressed out and inflamed bowels and oh my God, it was horrendous. And then 6 weeks later, cleaned all my bowels with hydrogen water and, started breathing it and keeping the water up. And in that lost 30 kilos, started skateboarding and jetboarding, as you can see in the other videos. But the main point was I was being connected back to me and my spirit. And really, what is your spirit? Your spirit is your place of joy. So even if you're in the spiritual communities and everyone has their little spiritual ego that goes with those communities, the essence is people's limitations are where they create their egos from, and their spirit is actually pure and big, and everyone's the same and equal on that level. And I think that's what Martin Luther King was saying. We're all equal, and inside is a spirit that's free. When we allow each other to be free on any race, religion, thought, paradigm, we allow ourselves to be free. And that is the true essence. And when you're free, what do you want to do? You want to do the things that bring you the most joy. So for me, skateboarding was part of my healing, but jetboarding was the outcome, because when we got to the electric jet surfboards on water, I didn't hit concrete anymore. I didn't need to heal myself after every ride on levels. And because of that, it allowed me to find my joy. And finding my joy was such a gift from being so stuck, and being a parent 20 years and 4 kids, and we're still parenting, obviously, but those first 10 years of 4 kids being under 10, and man, it is chaos and mental asylum stuff. And And at the end of the day, it's about being calm and allowing chaos to be the growth of reality and holding your own calm in it. And 20 years from your fitness, And in that, I was in hospital. So at the end of the day, it wasn't just, hey, breathe this and everything's fixed. It's like, breathe this. And as your cells regenerate, they've got to release the trauma, because the trauma is the fog wrapped around our spirit and between our body being too dense for actually our spirit to sit in comfortably, and our mental realm where we sit in our delusional or detached self, where we're not involved, then this is where dis-ease comes. It's the opposite of at ease. When you harmonize the body, the spirit sits in the body properly. The soul's mission is on earth. It's not out in the stars. It's not here. We're supposed to be here in presence. So the ascension process is to ascend on the inside from the bottom chakras, from scarcity and poverty and survival to heart open to connected community and thriving together and integrated and interconnected and interdependent, not codependent. So we're breaking through to this new level of how we're going to live into the future, and then that means how is our children going to live? And they're already onto the digital age. They're already sharing information and being their authentic self in their YouTube channel and understanding authenticity as a way forward. Because in our unauthenticity, when everyone had to conform to ways of government and nations and other belief systems and outside pressures, then there was no authenticity, and people got sick. They got diseased because they couldn't just be themselves. Everyone would judge them and tell them to be this way and you had to be this way. And part of Generation X was breaking out of the molding of our parents' mold, whatever they were molded into, and that told the children not seen and heard. And our parenting journey has been about expression and creation and allowance and shit. That is way harder than just shutting a kid down and slapping them a few times, which is the way we grew up. But luckily, we don't have that in our society. DV and all of that has been brought to attention, and as we bring it to attention, we can heal it. But how do we go back and heal the PTSD from it and the trauma from it? And this is the spiritual quest. Have the experience, heal the body and soul, understand the experiences and the power and the wisdom we move through the earth, sharing that kind of wisdom with others. So anyone who comes into crisis in their life has a journey on the inside to rebuild themselves from scratch. That's what's going on, no matter what it is. I found hydrogen and I was in 6 months skateboarding from not being able to run down the street. Now, for me, in my 53 years on this planet, I've never seen anything fix that. I've never had anything do that to me and constantly do it to me, and still does it to me 7 years later. And we're still skateboarding and jetboarding and running around and doing crazy shit and experiencing life. So the whole point of it was the energy that gets recharged. The gas completely recharges the mitochondria, cleans it out, and then recharges full banks of ATP energy. And every day you do that for a couple hours a day. In doing that, what that does is lift the energy, clear the brain fog, and keep us connected, keep our soul connected, keep us in our body, making sure that our body is a sacred place where we live in harmony with our body. We're not living beyond the traumas of what happened to us years and years ago and still running around in loops like that. We're allowed to let that go from our body, let that go from our experience, understand that as we chose those manifestations to learn those lessons, and a lot of those lessons were forgiveness. So we got fucking hammered. That's life. But we are also angelic, celestial light beings of stardust, and that's the bit we need to reconnect with. So these traumas as human experience are just finding our ways, and everyone's got a different way. Mine's hydrogen, so I'm sharing that. Other people have other ways, and meditation, surfing. You know, there's so many ways, and your way is your way. And then what you find is, as your way lifts you out of your crisis and heals you, your way becomes your path to share with others, to say, look, I did this and it worked for me, so this is what we're all doing. And luckily we're blessed with YouTube and an algorithm that searches for problems and finds solutions in all of our videos. So let's hope this one gets out there to the spiritual community, because the light workers and those healers and all the people that we are on that highest vibrational level needs to be supported. And how do you do that when we're living in concrete jungles and crazy vibrations and electronics and all that stuff that grids above us and disconnects us from the light, which is the stars and our celestial bodies and spirit teams. So at the end of the day, I found the hydrogen was the quickest way for me to breathe it, and within an hour be returned to self. And the more I did that, the more I come back to myself. And as I did that, the more my path unfolded and unfolded and unfolded. And if you want a free look at the book, downstairs is is a free link to go check out the book on hydrogen, how to fix your body. If you've got equipment already like H2 water and tablets and machines and stuff like that, then put programs in there on how to use hydrogen properly so we can learn how to use it so we can get the best results, and that is peace on earth. So eventually we're going to get there. Right now we're dealing with what we've got here going on, and a lot of what we're going on now is we're no longer in the age of Pisces, so we have to heal the PTSD from that experience on a collective level, and we do that individually, and each family has different conditions that we as souls came to break in that family and reset up our new family with that. And when I say that, I mean break the broken family lines and reset up the new traditions, so they've passed down the new legacies, but they have to be in tune with the new earth, with the new vibration. And in that, we have new healthcare systems where buildings can run on water and hydrogen, and all the cars can run on water and hydrogen, and half of that stuff in the buildings can be then utilized for healthcare and cure 80% of the disease problems we're having without any synthetics. Just saying. So it's been a long journey to get to the understanding of where we're going, and then be able to sit here and go, oh, this is where we're going to end up, because there's now on this horizon free healthcare, affordable healthcare, all made by water, and there's no pollution. The buildings are built out of here. That's grown for medicine over there in the cannabis world. So there's all these things coming together where we're utilizing the environment, ways to do that and produce that without any pollution involved. And 1 billion cars running on hydrogen makes 1 billion cars making water into our atmosphere every day. Every day. People aren't going to stop moving, working. We have to evolve all these systems and technologies. So this one was about utilizing hydrogen, which is water, and how do we stay spiritually engaged. And like I said, dis-ease is the opposite of at ease. So if you're dis-eased in your body, you can't get your soul and your spirit into your body. If you're drinking alcohol, when you get to a certain point of drunk, your soul steps out of your body and you just other things go for a ride, and therefore you wake up not remembering what you did, blah, 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 how you did it. And what you've done is just dehydrate everything, utilize all your energy and dehydrate everything and create all these toxic free radicals that your body has to get rid of. So we would go party, and then we'd just sleep on the hydrogen. In the morning we'd be clean, completely clean, no hangover, all rehydrated, everything, ready to run, ready to train, ready to go to work. So this has been a lot of our learning, my learnings, and all the people in my community around me as in these different stages. And we've recently done wellness video on how we utilize that for people and what kind of experiences they had. That's pretty interesting. Xtreme Wellness Tourism, and this is really, I listen to tarot readers. I have my own guides. I have a lot of attunement to a lot of different dimensions inside myself, and I utilize hydrogen. It keeps me clear, so I keep feeling to put this message out and say, look, this stuff clears your mind, clears your toxic free radicals, clears the brain fog, keeps you connected, and then we utilize it for creating music, creating art, creating these videos. Like at the end of the day, it opens up that third eye, connects where you're linking to your spirit and your soul and your body, and you're looking to harmonize that vibration so that you can sit more of the spirit in your body. And that's the whole point of life journey, is to become more of yourself as you go through life. And all the different journeys that we have can create trauma, but those traumas, when healed, become power and understanding and wisdom and knowledge, and that makes us titanium in vibrancy. So this is just a quick video on a bit of that. If you want to hear some more of that stuff, I'm going to put some other things out. But, at the end of the day, Your spirit is your light. Your mind is your magnifying glass. And your body is a vessel to capture and hold that light. And we have to honor our temple, honor our body, fill it with the right things. And there's so many wrong things in life we can put in it. But when you put the right things in it, you're able to connect with your spirit, and then you're able to manifest what you're wanting to manifest, because you don't get hazy, you don't get fluffy, and you don't get unfocused unless spirit leads you to be unfocused, to let go and let the manifestation come back to yourself. And that's a whole process. But in the process of even manifestation, it's all about feeling, and it's all about how you feel, and to awaken to the subtle senses of how you can actually quantum jump by feeling. Then you need to clean the body, clean the emotional body. And hydrogen for me has been able to do that, and returns to do that every day. And every year I feel like I'm getting better and better and better. So I'm glad it's time for me to do some of these videos, because people around here are hearing from me as far as trying to explain how it works and I get so excited, and now I'm like, I can get excited and take it or leave it. It's up to you, but I do it every day and it helps me. So I figure, if you want to do it, do it. If you already have it, I'll show you how to use it so that you can actually get the best out of it, because the more heart, the more light, the more hydration in our cells, the more light we hold, the more light that's on the planet is right about better now. So peace to all. Da Vinci 999 out from this sacred Telos Beach down in Byron Bay. Thanks so much for your time, and blessings to you all. May you manifest your greatest dreams as your greatest self, and this extremely, extremely beautiful. Respect.